Hello guys, welcome to my IGTV. Today we're going to be reviewing the new K-Beauty foundation, Hydrating Foundation, which just launched like a week or two ago, and it's being talked about so much. Everyone's loving it, everyone loves the finish of it. So I really wanted to put it to the test and see if the claims are really true. For reference, my skin type is oily to combo, very acne prone and very sensitive, and I am an NC25 in MAC if it could help you out. So I picked the shade 120Y Light. The best thing I like about this is that it's so easy to pick your shades. Like you have light, you have medium, you have tan, you have deep, and the undertones are listed just right in front of them. So you just need to know your undertone and skin tone, and the skin matches are really good. But I would still suggest for you to go to a Nykaa store and figure your skin shade out. Just put it down a little bit, see if it's oxidizing for you. Because I feel if you're investing in a foundation and it turns out to be too grey looking or it oxidizes too much, it can just mess up your entire base. So talking about the pricing and the ingredients, it is priced for 1200, which is not very expensive, not very cheap. So I think the K-Beauty as a brand is not technically a drugstore brand, it's like a higher end drugstore brand. So the range is pretty much like the rest of the products, and I think it's good enough. Plus the ingredients are really good. They have mango butter, they have avocado butter, hyaluronic acid, and I think mango butter and hyaluronic acid I am pretty impressed with. Avocado butter has not been the best for my oily skin, but we're still gonna put this to test. So they have claims that this is light to buildable coverage. So we're gonna see how much it covers up, how it lasts, the finish, the testing time, everything. So let's get started. I'm going to prime one side of my face and not prime the other, so to see how it works with or without a primer. And I'm just gonna be priming half of it. So the other half of my face is already moisturized because I wouldn't recommend going in with the foundation without putting any moisturizer on. Primer is optional, but I think moisturizer is necessary to create a barrier between the foundation and your skin and also to give it a good base. So on one side of the face I'm going to be using a sponge, and on one side I'm going to be using a brush to see what gives better finish and better coverage. I'm just taking a very tiny amount, and the consistency is pretty creamy. It's not one of those watery foundations, I guess because of the avocado butter and the mango butter and everything. I'm gonna put drops on my face. So the coverage isn't bad at all. Like with the brush, I think it did cover a lot of my redness up. I mean, I took a very little amount. I think I'm gonna go with a little bit more because it said it's buildable, so I just want to know if it looks cakey when you build it up. It looks nice. I mean, the finish is good. It did cover some bits of my texture and it did blur out a little bit. I don't put a lot of foundation on my forehead, but just to test it out, I'm going to do that. So I think it gave me a good base. As you can see, the half with the foundation on and half without the foundation on. It did cancel out a lot of redness and blurred out the texture. And we are now going to test it out with a damp sponge. So again, I'm going to be putting on a little doubts. When the foundation is creamy, it's important to use it on your face, because if you directly put it on a brush, it wouldn't spread so much. So it's better to start with the areas where you need the more coverage and build back. Okay, let's see. I think I like the sponge side more. I mean, this side covers up more, but this gives me a more natural skin-like look, if that's what you're looking for. We're gonna build a little bit of more coverage here. I personally think with the sponge, it gave me a more flawless finish. So I would recommend using the sponge with it. But I think that's also because I put a moisturizer over here and I put a blurring primer over here. That could be it. So I'm not going to be putting a lot of concealer on top just because I want to see how the foundation is performing. But I'm just going to cover up tiny bits of my blemishes. And overall, I've realized you don't need to cover everything, just enough to give you a flawless base to do the rest of your makeup. And I'm using a sponge with this as well. As I told you, I don't want a lot of coverage today, just to test out the foundation. So I look like a crazy person with the foundation and no concealer on. So I'm just gonna be back putting some concealer. So guys, I am using this Charlotte Tilbury powder to set a little bit of my face where I tend to get a little oily. I really expected it to be natural, but it's giving me a good coverage and it's not looking too cakey. It really looks a little bit airbrushed from this side. I think it works the best if you put a moisturizer or a creamy primer on rather than a silicone based, as this part of my face seems a little bit drying. So I think I am done with my rest of my base and I really like the finish of it. I think it's amazing for the people who have good skin, who just want a little bit of a base to put their makeup on. It's good for people who are going to office, who want a very lightweight, everyday foundation, sort of a coverage which you can build up. So I think it's a pretty multi-use foundation. It's good for dry skin, for oily skin. I think if you set it with a powder, it can be really good. Although I'm going to be testing it out, but let's see. And I also feel if you have a lot of acne like I do, you can just use it as a base and cover it up with a little bit of concealer. Let me tell you a secret, you don't have to cover everything up with a foundation. So I think the cakey, full coverage foundation days are gone, and foundations like these are in the upcoming trend. I really like the foundation, I love the finish, I love the consistency, I love the shade range. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see how it looks in real life. And we're going to be testing it out for another 5-6 hours and see how oily it's been and how it looks in my skin then. I'm going to zoom you in. So I am zooming you guys in for you to see how it's looking in real life. So this is how it looks. So I think it smooths out a lot of the facial texture and everything. It does not, I think it's true to the claim when it says it's medium. It's like very lightweight to very buildable, because I did build it up and it still does not look cakey, which is a yay from my side. Now let's just get to the 6th hour of testing. I'll see you guys in a bit. Hi you guys, it's been 4.5 hours since I wore this foundation. I have to sleep in time, so I couldn't complete 6 hours straight. But I promise to update you when I wear it for the whole day and tell you how it lasts for the entire day. For now, as per 4.5 hours, it does look pretty good. I mean, you cannot see very well, but it's a little oily. It's not very oily. It still looks very skin-like. I'm gonna zoom you in. So it's not breaking apart from anywhere because I think the formula is so nice that it does not break apart. It's not very, like, I don't feel like I'm wearing anything on the skin. It's very lightweight. So let's see at the pros and the cons. So I think pro number one is that it gives a very skin-like finish. Like, no foundation will give you an exact skin finish because it's still makeup. It's gonna look like makeup. But if you have something which looks close to your skin and not cakey, not heavy, this has a very beautiful finish. Second, I think this is one foundation which dry skin people can use, combination people can use, oily skin people can use. Pro number three, the coverage is on you. If you're going to office, you want a lightweight coverage, go for it. If you want to glam it up, if you have a lot of acne and marking, you could do it with a brush or a sponge and conceal your spots and you're good to go. Another pro is the ingredients are good actually. They're not very bad for your skin. So you can use it as a day-to-day foundation. And overall, yes, for my size, the packaging is good, it's sturdy, I really like it. And I love the foundation overall. I did not expect it to love this much, honestly. I just thought it was hyped up, but no, it's really a beautiful foundation. A tip for oily skin people, especially in the coming months of summers, is if you use this, make sure you carry a matte compact or a powder so you can set up the places which get oily. But I think the foundation is bang on. Yes, a big thumbs up from my side. It is pretty fab. I'm gonna wear it more and let you know, give you an update about how my experience with this foundation is. And here's the video, here's the whole review. I hope I helped you decide if this foundation is for you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. See you soon.